Well, the budget has been announced, and now to get you how the people on the ground are reading this, we're joined by our reporters. We have with us our principal correspondent, Disha, who's joining us from Mumbai. Disha, how are the markets reacting? You were outside the BSE, and we see that all stock indices, except for one, have all turned red, and the market has reacted quite violently.
Well, absolutely. Right after the budget, we saw the market crashing, the stocks fell off. And right now, to just elaborate further about how the overall budget was, I have with me few experts from consultants to CA professionals. Let's just speak to them and know from them as to what do they think about the overall budget this year. Thank you so much for speaking to us on our channel here at WION. What do you really feel this year's budget? What are your views on that?
So, obviously the first reaction that the market gave was a thumbs down at the end of the budget because of STT, which was a clear negative. One can't understand. But if as I listened to the FM, I think it was a very pragmatic approach to the global events that have been building up over the last 1 year. So you see what they have done is they have tried to ring fence the Indian economy, create more power, create employment, work for health, work for sanitation, work for infrastructure, work for farmers, work for, if you see medicines and chemical industry, for people like cancer, they have gone in all the way in. To my memory, I have not seen a tax holiday coming in anywhere. They have gone in a very big way in a couple of industries and tried to say that let's try to bring cost advantage back to India on these. As a motherhood statement, if I were to look at what this government is trying to achieve, I think many countries in the world are trying and aspiring for a future. What I see here is India recognizes that it was a global power in the past, and we had tremendous glory in institutions like yoga, Ayurveda, for instance, our cultural heritages like Hastinapur and all. So this government is, by way of a budget mechanism and a policy speech, trying to recreate that past glory, which sounds awesome to me. To a person like me, I think we have a very rich vein of knowledge which has lied untapped over the years. So it's not just the financials there, but it is the rich vein of history and the knowledge that was built in over thousands of years in the Indian tradition, in Ayurveda, in yoga especially. So we are, and the essence to push in some of these new medical sciences, institutes, biopharma, because obviously we've seen what COVID can do, right? It can dismantle a complete country. So if you have your own chemicals and fertilizers and pharma in place, your food security, health security is taken care of. So the government has been very pragmatic, and as a policy they have gone ahead. Fiscal deficit, kudos to the government for having achieved and committed what they committed and brought it down. I think they are indicating even a further drop by 0.1% next year, and the way they are tightly managing the ship, happy. Where my personal disappointments and a lot of my friends who sat here watching the budget collectively were obviously capital gains. I think for far too long this government has ignored the capital market segment, something that they can fix, because end of the day it is the lower middle class to middle class that aspires to challenge the rate of inflation through markets. And what is happening is the inflation is always prevailing on us, the middle class. So if the government could give some support there. We are not asking for a very huge largesse. In the earlier days, dividend was tax-free. It was something, so senior citizens, for example, we are senior citizens as well. But we find it a challenge to meet insurance. Insurance isn't available easily to us. And the charges are astronomically. They go up in parabolic proportions after a certain age. And the set-off is only 50,000, 60,000 for us. It doesn't really help. And we are supporting families, and we have to pay for all of them, because it becomes very difficult for us to tell the kids, now you pay for your insurance, because daddy is paying it, so you continue. So on the whole, for the entire economy, I think the direction, broad direction is amazing. If they can deliver everything that they have talked about, we are really going to steam ahead in the next 3 years.
Absolutely. So for youth as well, Shivan, if I can just go to one more expert here.
Okay, go ahead, Disha.
And just get his views as well about exactly what they have. For the youth as well, a lot of, because in Mumbai or be it in any part of the country, you see employment opportunities, creation of more jobs always has been the top demand as well for the youth. Do you think that the budget covered very well over here?
I think the budget covers very well.
because the one thing which they have done is that infrastructure expenditure they are going to boost. They are going to make it to 12.2 lakh crore. And infrastructure by per se, if we see, it will generate more and more employment, more and more, because it supports many other industry. So from that angle, it will give a big fillip to the industry, the new opportunities for employment. And other thing which they have done is that they are going to support MSME industries in a large way. And then medical tourism, they are going to take it. And then they are going to have that, sea planes and like that. So from that angle, we can see that it will boost a lot of, employment. So as far as the one thing which they have done, which Gen Z and other people will like, they have reduced that, foreign when you travel, that the TDS they have reduced. So that will help a lot. And one thing which I want that people will realize in coming days is that the one good scheme they have brought is the amnesty scheme, which I personally feel it may, if translate, suppose people understand it and they feel okay, then it can bring back good, money back from overseas.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll come to you in a bit. So these were the experts' opinions, the first-hand experts who really spoke about how they felt about the budget this year. Of course, there was a larger push in terms of infrastructure, healthcare, even as far as farmers are concerned. So all of this was part of the larger budget deal this time around, and we'll have to see how the year goes by as more and more, of course, developments can be expected out of the budget this year.
Disha, thanks so much for those ground updates, getting us really what people genuinely feel about the announcements that have come out from Delhi. We'll come back to you after some time. Let us now cut across to a different part of the country, Jammu and Kashmir. Idris, you've been waiting. Give us an understanding. We spoke earlier before the budget was announced. You mentioned horticulture, railways networks and tourism are key concerns in the valley. Give us your assessment of how people are reacting now.
Well, Shivan, there is no immediate relief for the two major industries of Jammu and Kashmir, which is the horticulture and the tourism industry. They were expecting that there would be some special schemes that would be given to both these industries, as they are the main contributors towards the GDP of Jammu and Kashmir. And in the last 1 year, they've had major losses. Tourism industry due to the Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor, and horticulture industry, especially the apple growers, due to the closure of the national highway. But there were 5 important points, Shivan, in the budget, which can be the takeaway for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, especially if we talk about the tourist stakeholders. The first being that there will be mountain trains that will be introduced in the areas, in the higher reaches. That is what we had spoken earlier also about, that the people from northern part of Kashmir have been demanding that there should be rail connectivity to those areas which are remote as well and which are mountainous. On the other hand, there will be around 10,000 tourist guides who will be trained in different parts of the country, especially in the tourist places like Jammu and Kashmir, especially in the Kashmir region. The third and most important point also being that there will be a focus on adventure tourism. The hiking trails in Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand and the higher reaches in the northern part of India would be promoted as well. So as far as the tourism industry is concerned, they were asking for a special scheme this year from the central government, but that didn't come through. There was no immediate relief to them, but these things could help in the future to promote the tourism in Jammu and Kashmir. If we talk about the horticulture and agriculture industry, the government said that they will enhance the income of the farmers related to walnut and as well as almond, which we know that Kashmir is a producer of walnuts and almonds in a big way as well. So that would help the farmers in Jammu and Kashmir. They've also said that they will introduce AI tools which will help these people who are related to horticulture and agriculture in Jammu and Kashmir, which could benefit them in the longer run.
Thanks so much for consolidating all of that and bringing us views of what people really feel at this point. Reactions, of course, slightly subdued, but let's hope, the allocation is among all the states, 1.4 lakh crores, as the finance minister mentioned, for all states. We'll need to wait and watch how this one plays out at the state level and the union territory level. That's Idris Sloan getting us the latest from Srinagar. And